What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at one of the new archetypes that will be available on July 31st 2025 when the Justice Hunter set comes out. So Dracotale combines dragon and spellcasters for a new fusion based deck theme. Beside powerful fusion monsters and fusion spell, Dracotale monsters have extra abilities to empower your fusion summons. Whenever you use a Dracotale monster as a fusion material, you get a free Dracotale spell or trap from your deck. Some Dracotale do more than that, like also destroying or negating your opponent's cards. Every Dracotale monster also have an additional special ability, like returning itself to the deck after use, or allowing you to fusion summon during your opponent's turn. So gaze upon the stars and discover a magical new fusion world. So that is the description of the new archetype, which is the Dracotale. Now we're going to be taking a look at that one card combo, or should I say 1.5 card combo, that is going to get you into a pretty good board plus additions, because you're going to have more cards in your hand to do other stuff. So starting off, you're going to need to have the Rahu Dragontail and one monster. Any monster will do. So we're going to activate the spell card. It's going to allow us to fusion summon into one of our Dragontail fusion monsters. I'm going to select the Dragontail Ulterion. Then we're going to select the card in our hand, which for example is Droll and Lotbird. And then you're going to use Dragontail Lucius. Once the monster is summoned, you're going to activate the effects, the Dragontail Ulterion and also the Dragontail Lucius. So you're going to use the Dragontail Ulterion to select the Lucius engrave, and then you're going to use the Lucius to set a spell or trap card from your deck. So I'm going to go ahead and set the Kitu Dragontail. So the Lucius makes you set this on the field, and then the Ulterion adds back the Lucius to your hand. I'm going to go ahead and activate the Kitu, and the Kitu is going to allow me to add Femina to my hand. I'm then going to go ahead and normal summon my Lucius. Lucius effect is going to activate, and I'm going to add to my hand the Urgula. With Urgula in my hand and my Lucius on field, I'm going to then activate Femina's effect in my hand to pitch it to the graveyard to allow me to fusion summon one of my Dragontail monsters. I'm going to go ahead and fusion summon my Dragontail Garmel by using the Lucius and the Urgula. Now the Urgula is pretty cool when it's used as a fusion material. When it's used as a fusion material, I get to first set a spell or trap card, a Dragontail spell or trap card from my deck to my hand. I'm going to set the Flame. Let's go ahead and read what Flame does. So Flame allows me to target a face-up spell card on the field, negates its effect until the end of this turn. Then you can place one Dragontail card from your graveyard or banishment on the bottom of your deck, except for Dragontail Flame. Then draw one card, and I can only use this once per turn. So this is pretty cool. I negate a spell, I get to draw one card, and I get to recur one card from my banished or graveyard, which is pretty broken. This card might be pretty expensive depending on its rarity. So we're gonna go ahead and select this one. This one bounces monsters back into hand or extra deck. So you might be able to use this depending on what kind of cards you have in your hand. But for this example combo, we're gonna go with the Flame. So we're gonna set a Flame, and then as I mentioned, Urgula has pretty cool abilities, 3 actually. So let's go ahead and read it. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a material for a fusion summon, you can set one Dragontail spell or trap card from your deck, which we just did by setting Flame. Then you can destroy one spell or trap card on the field, which we won't do because our opponent doesn't have a spell or trap card. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one spellcaster Dragontail monster in your graveyard, place this card on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. So this card gives you one card from your deck to your field. It also pops a card in your opponent's field, spell or trap, and it also recurs itself and allows you to draw one card. Pretty broken if you ask me. So we're gonna go ahead and not pop a card. We're gonna activate its effect in graveyard to recur itself, and we're gonna add the Femina to our hand. So the Urgula is gone back into the deck. And this is pretty much the end board. We have a card to negate spell cards and also draw a card. we have a card to pop a card. So this one, when a card is activated, or when you activate a Dragon Tail card or effect, quick effect, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. If two or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time, while this card is in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card, but banishes it when it leaves the field. You can only use the effect once per turn. So this is pretty cool, because if you fusion summon a monster, two cards are going to go to the graveyard at the same time, so you can special summon this card from the graveyard. And the good thing about this card is when you use Femina's effect in hand to fusion summon in your opponent's turn, this card first effect activate to pop a card on your opponent's side of the field. So that's pretty broken. Then this one is pretty much a compulsory, but when it is fusion summoned. So this card says, if this card is fusion summoned, you can target monsters on your field and or in your graveyard up to the number of monsters used as material from your hand. Then from the hand, return them to the hand. So if I use two cards from my hand to fusion summon this card, I can bounce two cards off the field in the graveyard back to the hand. If two or more monsters are sent to the graveyard at the same time while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. So each of the fusion monster have the two cards thing to special summon itself, which is pretty cool, because once you use a fusion card, two cards are actually sent to the graveyard at the same time. So Femina is pretty awesome because it allows me to fusion summon during my opponent's turn. So during the main phase quick effect, you can discard this card, fusion summon one dragon or spellcaster fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. If this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material, you can set one Dragon Tail spell or trap card from your deck. So this card allows me to fusion summon. I would need to have cards on the field like monsters to actually, you know, fusion summon into the fusion things, but this is pretty cool. So yeah, that is the one card combo. Again, it's not the best, but with additional cards in your hand, because I should have 3 more cards. You know, you start with 5 and I ditched one, which was the Drill and Lock, but I should have 3 more, which could give me extra cards on my field. So yeah, I think this is pretty good, and I'm sure later on other people are gonna give us some better combos with more interruptions. So the deck profile isn't anything special. I'm not gonna give you guys any side deck, but this is what I have so far. So I'm using 2 Nibs, I'm using Dragon Tail Pan, 3 of the Urgula, 3 of the Femina, 3 of the Lucia, 3 Vicious, 2 of the Wind and Water Molcharmy. Then I'm using 3 Dragon Tail more, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Haunted Mansion, 2 Haunted Mansion, 2 Droll and Lock, Key 2, I'm using 3 of that, 1 Pot of Prosperity, Raha, I'm using 3, 2 Super Polys, Dragon Tail Flame, and Dragon Tail Horn. I'm using 3 of the Alterion, 1 Dragon Crown, 1 Dragoon, Dragon Tail 2 Dragon Tail Garmel. This is for the targets for the Super Poly, which is Mud Dragon and the Guhara. I'm using Underworld Goddess, Access Code, SP Litanite, Cross Sheep, Dragon Seal, Seal of the Heavenly Sphere, and the Spirits with Eyes of Blue. So that is the deck profile, or deck list. So yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. That's the video. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel for future content.